Welcome back, everybody. It's Paul Maglev here with Train Valley 2. In this episode, we're taking a look at Oresund Bridge. Now, first things first, it's always important to remember that you've got a few extra engineers laying around. I'm pretty sure the developers just kind of gave us that for free. I'm not sure if it was a mistake or not, but we're not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, and we're going to move forward from there. You've probably noticed, first things first, that this is actually just me doing a voiceover of pre-recorded footage that I did today, and the reason for that is every single take I did with the web camera and stuff just didn't pan out, or something happened. They kind of messed things up, and I thought to myself, I should probably be able to play this a lot better, but at the same time I feel like I shouldn't let perfectionism get the better of me. These and a bunch of other things that just kind of got on my mind, but I feel like it's just kind of detracting from the point. Point is, I felt like I could do better. I churned out a shorter video because I felt that doing 2 videos at once wasn't going to be practical, and there are a few reasons for that I'll get to in a moment. First one being that I don't have the internet to myself this weekend. The 18th? Yeah. It's Sunday the 18th of October, and I do not have the internet to myself today, because usually my brother would be out to work most of the week, but he's home because he got sick, and that means he's going to be playing video games all day, and I don't want to interrupt his gameplay by throttling the internet by uploading footage. And if any of you are wondering what he got, the answer is no, he didn't get COVID. He got the shingles instead. And the family is just hoping that he gets well soon, and I certainly hope he does too. So I didn't want to interrupt him. I knew that if I uploaded 2 videos around the same length that it was going to cause a lot of problems. And I didn't want to spend the rest of the evening trying to upload videos if it was just going to take forever and a half, and then take even more time to render. Actually, I take that back. It would take more time to upload than it does to render, but it's still time, and I would much rather spend that time doing something else. And I'm pretty sure that you only need 1 video for each level, as far as I can tell at this point, and not 2. So I guess so much for the walkthrough experiment from last time. And also so much for getting an opportunity to actually see some webcam footage this time around. I'm just surprised no one's actually gone out and said, "Haha, he's bald, he's basics!" Because, I'm just really thankful that you guys don't give me flack for that sort of thing. Because, when people think of YouTubers, they think of this young, spry guy who screams a lot and has this large, perfect, voluminous hair. Not the sort of, human equivalents of an oily do-rag sitting atop my scalp. But I guess it's what's on the inside that really matters, right? So, Oresund Bridge, yeah, Oresund Bridge. It is one of the connections between Sweden and Denmark, including boat routes, of course. And when I took a look at it on the map, I realized that the majority of Denmark is, west of Sweden, and I didn't know that. When I think of the Nordic countries, I think Sweden and Norway, and, the majority of that is north of Denmark, right? Well, although that's technically true, there's still a decent portion that's actually, east of it. But yeah, Denmark. Home of the Danes, and I think it's also the highest rated in terms of the Legatum Prosperity Index. So you've got the best quality of life there when it comes to, education, environment, social justice, those sorts of things. Economic prosperity, other criteria. And then you got Sweden, home to climate activist Greta Thunberg, and that's the birthplace to PewDiePie. So unfortunately, in the world of Train Valley 2, Sweden and Denmark don't uphold their promises under the Paris Climate Agreements for carbon emission reductions. The reason I say this is because we're going to be extracting and burning and refining lots and lots of fossil fuels. Now, are these emissions under carbon cap and trade programs in these countries that I'm not aware of? I guess in this imaginary circumstances that's a possibility, but with the amounts of stuff we're producing, I'm not so sure. Who knows? I guess it doesn't matter because it's just a game after all. And one of the main challenges is being able to babysit a power station in this game. So we've got ourselves some connections that we've made. We've got a lot of things going on here that are kind of some newer strategies combined with some older strategies. And the main focus is to try to streamline the process of producing and distributing everything as fast as humanly possible. And in this recording, I did set a personal record for the amounts of time it takes to complete the level. It's not the best out there, but I will say it is my personal best. And I feel like I could do a lot better, but I just know that I've played this game so much that I've basically played it to death, and the last thing I want to do is have to play it to death even more. Like, I've played the DLC and everything, and my mouth is making all these lip smacky sounds, which ain't good. So what else is going on? Because, let's see, I've been sorting out furniture in my room. I had made some modifications to that floating furniture I just installed in the back. I mean, behind me on the web camera when you usually see it, at least based on the previous episode with webcam footage. I drilled an opening in the back so I could put some chargers through the back and then stick it into a power outlet that's been mounted to the wall. I've cleaned up some more of my games and stowed them away. And what else did I manage to do? Because I thought I was doing quite a lot this week. I do remember helping out with a lot of chores or just tagging along. But I'm excited this evening because for dinner we're having salmon that was defrosted earlier, so I feel good about that. And I'm trying to think of what else I want to mention, because I played a lot of games, and in a previous voiceover for a different video that I threw away, I wound up talking a lot about some of the games that I was preoccupied with previously, and those were things like, well, at least going all the way back to 2019, they were the remastering of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I was playing Pokemon Shield, I was catching up on Pokemon Let's Go Eevee because I had completely forgot about that and didn't play it yet. So I eventually played that over the summer. Played the DLC, the first DLC release for Sword and Shield, and the next one should be coming out somewhere in late October near the election. Though I'm pretty sure that the people who are interested in the DLC are going to be more focused on the election this time around, at least as far as I can tell. Like, nobody was clamoring to the Sword and Shield, and there was a lot of flack from that game, like a lot of controversy, because they expected the fan base expected a lot more, and I certainly did as well. Like, sure, I hadn't played any Pokemon games since I can't remember which generation it was, but it really doesn't matter. But I don't know. I think we all expected better. I think YouTube user Distant Kingdoms probably articulated best the shortcomings of Generation 8. And in my perspective, I could imagine why that was the case, and I can speculate on that, but I feel like if I was to talk more about it and why things pan out the way they did, I would need to do some more research, and I'd have to write a full script and provide citations and that sort of thing. And I'd much rather not do that. I'd much rather just wrap up Train Valley 2 while I still can, because I'd like to get it wrapped up before the end of the year, hopefully. Everything gets in the way, though, of course. Like life happens. What other escapades have I been up to? I need to catch up with some acquaintances. I did catch up with one friend. I won't divulge any details. But it was nice to hear back. We hadn't chatted in a while. But yeah, it was just some good quality time spent over the phone the other day. What else have I been up to? I could probably talk a little bit about Among Us because I really haven't said anything about it. But I was thinking to myself, well, what is with all this hype about Among Us? What's so great about it? And I was like looking at it, and I can get the enthusiasm behind it, and it's pretty easy to talk about. It's easy to make jokes about online through internet memes and that sort of thing. And all in all, I think it's a pretty solid game. Certainly a lot cheaper than certain AAA games, and it's just about as engaging. I will say though that I do look forward to some potential improvements to the game. Namely, I would think that the first thing that comes to mind is the visual quality, because a lot of the assets are not optimally played in resolutions that include 1080p or some of the crazy people who play in 4K. I can't imagine you would play such a simple game in 4K, but still, it's really blocky even under 1080p. But yeah, I think it's weird how I find myself in situations where people accuse me of being the extraterrestrial imposter in Among Us when I'm not. And then I have no way of advocating for myself by saying, hey, that's not me. I didn't do this, that, and the other. And then I get jettisoned out of the ship, or off the headquarters, or I get thrown into lava. And then, of course, the imposters win, or something like that. But I'm just wondering what it takes to be convincing, because it not only helps me survive as a crewmate, but it also makes me a better imposter, because where's the fun if there's no challenge? And I want to bring the best challenge that I possibly can, and I feel like victory is something that should be earned, not something that just accidentally happens because half the team decided to rage quit, even though they joined the game. Like, that's one of the weird things I've noticed. Like, as soon as the game starts, like, sometimes as many as 4 to 6 of the teammates, or players rather, 4 to 6 of the teammates might leave within the first minutes or first 30 seconds. And I can't imagine why, because they committed to starting a game, and the game is only like 5 minutes long at the most. So I can't imagine why people would do that unless they're really not interested in being crewmates, so they just rage quit, or they die in the first few seconds and they quit after that. That's probably one of the things that could improve the game, making sure that players who have passed on continue to finish their tasks, because crewmates can die, but their spirits kind of are allowed to finish their tasks in order to help the crewmates win the game. And one of the things that I always see is that once they die, they quit. One of the first signs that someone's actually died on the crewmates. But I noticed that when they leave, the number of tasks that must be completed drops, because all the tasks that are assigned to people can't be assigned to other people when someone passes on and gets disconnected, or they quit, or any other number of things. So instead of like having, say for example, 5 players doing 5 different tasks, hypothetically, against 2 other imposters, if one of the crewmates leaves, instead of having 25 tasks total, it drops down to 20 tasks, because there's only 20 tasks that can be performed by those 4 crewmates that remain, that haven't disconnected or quit. And that's just one of those things that would improve the game, making sure that they cooperate and stay, because I know that it's pretty difficult to stay after you've died, to just have to sit behind in the chat after someone's reported a body or there's an emergency meeting and you aren't able to chat with anybody other than other people that have died in the game, either being jettisoned out the airlock or getting eaten by the imposters or something. I know this sounds pretty morbid, but it's Among Us is this kind of cutesy looking cartoonish game by Inner Sloth, and I think Puffballs United also contributed to the development of the game, as well as referenced by the overabundance of Henry Stickmin imagery throughout the game itself, and references to it as well. Like one of the pets is a little stick man, and there's like posters of Henry Stickmin throughout the maps and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm just hoping that it stays relevant long enough for me to actually like review it properly, I guess. But knowing how long it might take to actually get the remainder of episodes out for Train Valley 2, and how long it takes to actually produce and render and get them out publicly, I'm not so sure. But if I really maximize my efforts and my industry, but also make sure that I work smarter instead of harder, I should be able to get things done fairly quickly. Speaking of quickly, it seems that the level's almost wrapped up. I'd spent quite a lot of time trying to make sure that everything was working out properly, and one of the first things that happened here for the first time I played this game ever is that I managed to hook up the coal-fired station and the coal mine using a shorter path that I usually wouldn't build until much later in the level over the course of time, but I was able to get it done a lot sooner, and I'm pretty sure that was an effective time saver, because one of the biggest problems is maintaining electrical supplies during the level, and taking more circuitous paths makes things a lot more difficult and takes up more time, which is the last thing I want to do. And in the last leg of the race for this level, I decided to split the last train of 7 rail cars, into 2 separate trains, one with 4 cars and one with 3 cars, because both of them together would go a lot faster than a train with just 7 cars strung together into a single rake, just to get some extra seconds shaved off. And I got all 5 stars, and I did my personal best in terms of real time, game time, and in terms of funds. I was really happy about that when I recorded it today. But thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video, and until then, take care, stay awesome, stay true to yourself, and remember to never give up. Bye, everybody.